Hello everyone, Darcenovia here. This is my review on the classic Marvel run, Prism Forever, which is a landmark issue. It's about over 42 pages, and I don't normally review Signal issues, but considering I feel like there's enough content in this issue that I'll make an exception. Now, out of all the issues I've read in the classic Marvel run, I think this is the best one so far. It feels like Star Wars. I think the pasting is really good. And for a story that's one issue, I think it's compact. It doesn't waste your time when you read it. I consider this a good Star Wars comic, a really damn good one. And it utilizes characters that aren't really utilized that much, like Lando Calrissian. And of course, this is probably a trope that I'm going to be dealing with. Lando has to abandon saving Han because there's a problem with Prism Forever, which is a condition that pretty much, makes the host's skin red. Now, Chewie explains, at least through a translation of 3PO, of a mission that him and Han went on. Yes, Han Solo is featured in this story, but of course, considering he's captured at this time, he can only be featured in flashbacks. So it explains, how the Prism Forever, has become a problem. I'm not going to give too much away because I think the story is really good. But we find out who the main, person behind it was, and if you've read this run, you shouldn't be surprised. If I had to be honest with you, I think this particular comic could be read in isolation as well. Yeah, you may not get some things, but then again, it's minor stuff. I think issue 50 is a comic you could read completely on its own without ever reading the other issues. I think it's a good story, and not to mention, it feels like Star Wars. The artwork is gorgeous. I know I bring up art a lot, but I'd appreciate, these panels because, I like this era of Marvel and DC comics, especially Marvel. And I like the fact that this issue, the characters look like they're actors. You can tell that looks like Han Solo, which show you another one, another panel. Yeah, sorry. This looks like Han Solo. So, yeah, I appreciate them stepping up in terms of the art, even though this is a little weird for those who are used to the Dark Horse comics. It feels right at home of the classic, Star Wars days. Anyway, the art is really good, and I think that is the redeeming factor. The story, I don't want to give anything away, but if you are familiar with Marvel 108, it's supposed to be related to this issue. So yeah, I don't want to give too much away with Prism Forever, but I think it's a classic, rating for me. I think it's a really good comic, one of the best Star Wars comics of the 80s. And I actually think it does a really good job of standing completely on its own as a story. So if you're not interested in like starting from issue 1 in the Marvel run, these are one of the issues I would recommend picking up. I mean, it isn't that hard to find. You can get it digital now. So it's not like it's one of those comics that are out of print and obscure. I mean, the classic Marvel run is one of the easiest Star Wars comics to find, especially in the modern, era of Star Wars. There's literally no excuse, in my opinion. If you can't find it, there's multiple different ways you can do it that still support, the company. Anyway, Crimson Forever is definitely a good story. Next time, when I come back to review more, classic Marvel, I'm going to be reviewing 5 more Star Wars comics in this era. I'm not going to drag this out. I know these reviews aren't popular, considering people want to hear what I think of some other comics like Knights of the Old Republic and Legacy, but I feel obligated to finish reviewing these because I'm almost halfway there. Anyway, peace out, everyone. May the Force be with you, and see you guys next time with another video. Peace.